Today on Filmflix, I'm recommending 6 movies across 6 totally different genres. All of them are actually worth your time. No filler. No, it was fine. Just good movies. And before we get into it, all the streaming links for every movie on this list are in the first pinned comment below. That's where I keep them. Go check it there after the video.
Interesting guy, Cliff.
Yeah.
It's good reflexes.
So, my bottom pick on this list is a movie that starts out looking like a travel commercial for Hawaii. Gorgeous beaches, lush jungle, clear water. It genuinely looks like a dream vacation. And then, slowly, and I mean very slowly and very deliberately, it starts making you feel like something is really wrong. Now here's the setup. Newlyweds on their honeymoon in Kauai. Beautiful trail hike. And then news breaks that another honeymooning couple has been brutally murdered nearby on the island. So now every single person they encounter on this trail, the chatty hitchhikers, the rugged military guy who keeps showing up, starts looking suspicious, and the movie just lets that paranoia breathe. What I appreciate about this one is that it earns its twist. The film spends so much time getting you to read these characters, to form opinions about who's dangerous and who isn't, and then it pulls the rug out in a way that made me want to go back to the beginning immediately. Steve Zahn surprised me here. He's typically cast in these goofy sidekick roles, and he brings something completely different. Timothy Olyphant is doing that thing where he's charming and vaguely terrifying at the same time, and it works perfectly. Is it a perfect movie? No, it's my bottom pick for a reason, but it is a genuinely effective thriller that uses its setting, that jungle, those narrow trails, those steep drops, as almost a character in itself. Not a home run, but definitely a fun, tense watch, which is why it's my number 6 pick. That movie is a perfect getaway.
Let me open the safe. They took me as a hostage.
Now, my next pick is a movie I recommend constantly because it just holds up. Ben Affleck directs and stars in this one, and if you're skeptical about that combination, I get it, but stay with me. The movie is set in Charlestown, Boston, a neighborhood with a historically notorious reputation for producing bank robbers, and it follows a crew that has done this their whole lives. Affleck plays the crew leader, a guy who's genuinely starting to question whether this is the life he wants, and the conflict between who he is and who he might want to become is what really drives the film. Jeremy Renner plays his crew member, and honestly, Renner almost steals the whole thing. He plays this volatile, unpredictable guy who is always one bad decision away from making everything worse, and every scene he's in has this nervous energy that is hard to look away from. John Hamm plays the FBI agent on their trail, and he brings real weight to that role too. Now, does the film lean into a fairly conventional Hollywood action climax when it probably could have done something more interesting? A little, yeah. The third act goes a bit more standard than the rest of the movie earns, but the performances and the atmosphere of that Charlestown world carry it well past those shortcomings. This is a heist film that actually cares about the psychology of the people doing the heisting, and that makes this something more than just a genre film. That movie is The Town.
So do I.
Alright, I'll be honest with you. The title of this movie sounds like a joke. Cowboys and aliens. Someone walked into a pitch meeting, said those 2 words, and somehow got Harrison Ford and Daniel Craig to sign on. That is impressive chaos, and I respect it. Now, on paper, this should be a disaster. The premise is wild. It is set in 1873. The aliens are here for gold, which, okay, fine. And the film takes itself completely seriously as a straight Western story, which is somehow both its biggest strength and its funniest quality. But here's the thing. Jon Favreau actually puts in real effort with these characters. He's not just pointing a camera at aliens and calling it a day. Harrison Ford plays a mean, commanding rancher, and you believe every second of it.
Looks like he's doing fine.
The interesting thing I notice is that before the alien stuff really kicks in, the movie has this genuine Western tension. A gunshot in a quiet town, a standoff on a dusty street. That stuff actually works really well and made me think this cast could have made an incredible straight Western without any of the sci-fi elements at all. Is it the smartest movie ever made? No. But it's committed, it's big, it's well cast, and it is a lot of fun. That movie is Cowboys and Aliens. Now, real quick before we keep going, if this list is scratching that itch for you, click the subscribe button right now. I make these lists constantly because I genuinely believe finding a great movie should not be this hard. Give the video a like too, it helps more than you think, and it tells YouTube that real movie people are watching. Okay, back to the list. Now we're getting to the really good ones. My next pick is a movie that came out in 2013, got some solid reviews at the time, and then kind of just quietly disappeared from the cultural conversation. Which is a shame because it is really something special. The setup sounds almost too simple. A teenager has a miserable relationship with his father, so he and his best friend decide to build an actual house in the woods and just live there. That's it. That's the plan. And the movie follows that idea with this beautiful, sun-drenched, slightly unreal energy that makes you understand exactly why these kids did it, even though it is obviously a terrible idea. Now, the direction from Jordan Vogt-Roberts is genuinely gorgeous. There are visual sequences in this movie that feel almost dreamlike, like they belong in something much bigger than a small indie comedy. And then there's Biagio. If you've seen this film, you know exactly what I mean. He is this completely unpredictable third member of the group who delivers lines like he's operating on a different frequency than everyone else in the film, and he is consistently the funniest thing on screen. Does the script fully commit to some of the darker places it wanders into? Not quite. It tends to flinch a little when it could have gone deeper, but the ambition is real, the performances are strong, and the moments that do land hit genuinely hard. It's messy and funny and warm in the way that actual growing up is. That movie is The Kings of Summer. Now, my number 2 pick is the newest movie on this list, and I want to be upfront with you about it because I think that's what this channel is about. Guy Ritchie directs this thing, and if that name means anything to you, Snatch, Lock, Stock, you already have expectations. And in some ways, this film delivers on them. It looks absolutely incredible. Wide, expansive cinematography, great soundtrack, stylish editing, and the final act, which takes place inside these ancient booby-trap structures, is genuinely the Guy Ritchie you want. Creative, visually driven action, mostly wordless bill-making craft. But here's my issue. The dialogue in this movie is written like the screenwriter was terrified that you'd look at your phone for 10 seconds and miss something. So characters just explain everything, out loud, to each other, things that would obviously already know. It's like watching people deliver their own Wikipedia pages in conversation form. John Krasinski plays the lead adventurer, and he's perfectly likable, but something about the casting feels slightly off. Natalie Portman as his sister does her best and genuinely holds her ground. Domhnall Gleeson has the most interesting backstory in the whole film and gets the least amount of room to explore it. It is not a perfect movie, and it is not Guy Ritchie at his best, but that final act is good enough that I still recommend it. Just know what you're getting into for the first 2/3. That movie is Fountain of Youth. And my top pick on this list is a Quentin Tarantino movie that I genuinely think gets less attention than it deserves. Probably because it sits between Pulp Fiction and the Kill Bill films, and people just kind of skip over it. That would be a mistake. Jackie Brown came out in 1997, and it is a very different kind of Tarantino film. There are no massive set pieces, no sudden bursts of shocking violence to cut the tension. What this movie is about, at its core, is people. And specifically, it is about a 44-year-old flight attendant named Jackie Brown who gets backed into a corner and has to outmaneuver every single person around her just to survive. Pam Grier plays Jackie, and she is absolutely magnetic in this role. Samuel L. Jackson plays the gun dealer pulling the strings, and he brings this terrifyingly casual ruthlessness to every scene. Robert De Niro plays a guy who has been in prison so long he has almost completely disconnected from reality, and it is one of the quieter, stranger performances of his career. And Robert Forster as the bail bondsman who slowly falls for Jackie, I mean, that performance is a career highlight. The restraint in it is extraordinary. The film is deliberately paced. Some people find it slow, I find it immersive. Tarantino just lets you live inside this world and with these people. And by the time the central scam plays out, you realize you've been watching a masterclass the whole time. It is my top pick on this list, and it is not close. That movie is Jackie Brown. And that is the list. Now, right after this, go check out our video on the psychological thrillers and crime films that Netflix added and then basically forgot to tell anyone about. The ones that will never show up while you're browsing. You're gonna have to actually search for them. Link is right there. I'll see you in the next one.